The top 10 celebrities that won't be invited to the 2024 Met Gala. At number 10 we have Doja Cat. While her music is still as good as ever, Doja Cat is constantly finding herself in hot water these days. After losing nearly 1 million followers for hating on her own fans, she seems to have alienated her remaining fan base by wearing a t-shirt featuring an extremely controversial person. The picture has now been deleted off of Instagram, but not before it was seen by millions. In the photo, Doja is posing in her car while she wears a t-shirt that shows controversial comedian Sam Hyde holding a firearm. After fans called her out on Instagram, she then removed the images but left a blurry photo of herself in the same outfit up on her Instagram story. She then uploaded a cropped version of one of the pictures, but fans made sure she knew that they hadn't forgotten about the controversy. And not too long ago, she called out some of her stans for creating their own unofficial nickname for her loyal fan base, because she didn't sign off on it and she clearly hated the name. She went on a bit of a Twitter rant and wrote, "My fans don't get to name themselves. If you call yourself a kitten or effing kittens, that means you need to get off your phone and get a job and help your parents with the house." Number 9. Justin Timberlake. As we know, Britney Spears recently released a bombshell memoir coming through with some major allegations against Justin Timberlake, which it's safe to say earned him a ton of backlash on social media. Now he's been cancelled like never before. In the most talked about part of their memoir, Britney described her relationship with Justin. She talked about their first kiss as a Janet Jackson song was playing in the background and the very difficult decision she had to make in the year 2000 after she learned that she was pregnant with his baby. She said, "It was a surprise, but for me it wasn't a tragedy. I love Justin so much. I always expected us to have a family together one day. This would just be much earlier than I'd anticipated." But she said that Justin definitely wasn't happy about the pregnancy. He said he wasn't ready to have a baby and that they were way too young. We now understand why sources said that Justin was concerned about Britney's memoir. She also revealed that if the decision had been left up to her and her alone, she never would have gone through with it, but she only did so because Justin was so sure that he didn't want to be a father. Looking back at that experience, Britney said, "To this day, it's one of the most agonizing things I have ever experienced in my life." Number 8. Jada Pinkett Smith. The actress came through with her own bombshell memoir this year called Worthy, and like most of these Hollywood books, it generated a lot of controversy. Unfortunately for Jada, the general consensus was that people did not want to hear what she had to say. Not only that, but some people call her out for straight up telling blatant lies, like when she opened up about her relationship with the late rapper Tupac Shakur and claimed that he proposed to her in prison during his stay at Rikers Island. A TikTok user challenged Jada's account with a meticulous timeline that cast doubt on her story, questioning the authenticity of her narrative. Apparently during the time Jada claims Tupac proposed to her, he was already engaged to Keisha Morris. So when you place her story against the historical timeline, things start to look a little fishy. So the situation raises the question of when the alleged visit to Rikers Island and the marriage proposal transpired. At the time, Jada was transitioning into a relationship with Will Smith, who had recently separated from his wife. So the timeline just doesn't make a lot of sense. You can see why people have been poking holes in Jada's story. Number 7. Amber Heard. Although the actress is slowly but surely making her return to Hollywood, it's extremely doubtful that she would receive an invitation to somewhere like the Met Gala. Though the past year has been pretty chaotic for her, she stepped back into the spotlight and is a star of a new film called In the Fire. The movie premiered at the 69th Taormina Film Festival in Sicily, and Amber was there for the screening, with red lipstick and her signature blonde hair in old Hollywood glam. Despite all of this though, she has not been able to stay away from controversy. According to new legal documents just released from the defamation trial last year, she made some startling allegations in therapy sessions back in 2021, when she and Jason Momoa were working together on Aquaman. During one particular session in December that year, she said she felt that Jason was trying to play mind games with her by intentionally copying Johnny Depp's fashion sense, right down to the rings on his fingers. She also claimed that he was intoxicated on set and that he was trying to get her fired, which is insanely hard to believe when you think about the fact that he was the one who advocated for her to stay in the movie. So she accused Jason of purposely dressing like her ex in order to mess with her, which as you could imagine only created even more drama. Number 6. Johnny Depp. Although the actor is in a significantly better place than his ex, there's no doubt that inviting him to the Met Gala next year would bring a lot of controversy to the event, which Anna Wintour would most likely want to avoid. As we've seen at the Cannes Film Film Festival, Johnny Depp has made an effort to move on from last year's chaos. He's been taking up new film projects and made it crystal clear that he's getting back in the game. But the festival's decision to include both of the films ignited a firestorm online. Amber supporters, which have been growing in number over the years, accused the festival of endorsing an alleged liar and manipulator. They emphasized the need to stand with survivors and get Hollywood to try and take a unified stance against DV. Then Johnny Depp supporters argue that the festival was choosing sides against him by featuring her movie, given the allegations and counter-allegations that went on between them. Either way, it's no wonder that they're both working so hard to clear their name. Not everyone is equipped to survive the intense controversy that these two have had in the past couple of years. The former couple have been two of the most controversial names in Hollywood ever since they filed for divorce. Number 5. Jonah Hill. Earlier this year, the actor and comedian was exposed online by his ex-girlfriend, who claimed that he was controlling and misogynistic. These events collectively sparked outrage, mostly from other women who said that they've had similar experiences in relationships. It started on July 7th when Sarah Brady shared a series of Instagram stories detailing Jonah's behavior while they were together. She posted DMs and text messages that she claims were sent to her while they were dating. She wrote, "Sharing this publicly now because keeping it to myself was causing more damage to my mental health than sharing it could ever do. This is a warning to all girls. If your partner is talking to you like this, make an exit plan. Call me if you need an ear." So what was in these messages? Well, one of them appeared to show him chastising her for posting photos of herself surfing in a bikini. And when she deleted some of the photos, Jonas allegedly tells her that it's a good start, but that she still doesn't seem to get it. He explains what kind of behavior that he feels is crossing his boundaries, and this includes her surfing with other men, modeling, posing pictures of herself in a bathing suit, and having friendships with women who are in quote unstable places, whatever that means. Number 4. Justin Roiland. The creator and voice actor of Rick and Morty was recently fired from his own show after a series of disturbing allegations surfaced about him. Justin was also charged with felony DV against a former girlfriend, and was awaiting trial for an incident that occurred in January of 2020, which resulted in him being charged with 1 felony count of battery with corporal injury and 1 felony count of false imprisonment by menace, violence, fraud, and deceit. And if he was found guilty at the time, he could have faced up to 7 years in prison. At this point, Adult Swim then decided to cut ties with him, and they released a statement confirming that the beloved animated series would continue on without him. The news, of course, came as a massive shock to Rick and Morty fans, because Justin is the voice of the 2 lead characters in the show, as well as various other ones. So his attorney then released a statement saying, "To be clear, not only is Justin innocent, but we also have every expectation that this matter is on course to be dismissed once the district attorney's office has completed its methodical review of the evidence." But with everything else that came out about him recently, it looks like his career might have gone out the window permanently. Number 3. Loughlin. The star of Full House seems to have been well and truly blacklisted from Hollywood. In 2019, she became embroiled in the nationwide college admissions scandal along with several college coaches and officials. What actually caused it to make headlines was the involvement of famous actors. Lori and her husband Massimo Giuliani were said to have bribed college officials with $500,000 in exchange for having their 2 daughters appear to be on the USC crew team in order to get into the Ivy League school. Despite the fact that their daughters Bella and Olivia Jade were completely unfamiliar with the sport, the couple pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud, then were hit with additional money laundering and bribery charges. Lori was sentenced to 2 months in prison and is expected to serve her full sentence because there is no time off for good behavior for less than a year in the federal system. Aside from the 2-month prison stint, she must undergo 2 years of supervised release, conduct 100 hours of community service, and pay a fine of $150,000. She released a statement at the time admitting to the crime and said, "I thought I was acting out of love for my children, but in reality, it only undermined and diminished my daughter's abilities and accomplishments." Number 2. Jussie Smollett. The Empire star became the center of controversy when it was revealed that he lied about being the target of a hate crime. In 2019, he claimed that he was brutally attacked by 2 men wearing ski masks in Chicago at around 2 a.m. Jussie then went on Good Morning America to tell his story and said that he was forever changed by the event, but there was already a skepticism swirling on social media. He explained that he did not hand over his cell phone to police because he had private pictures and videos and numbers on there, and said the attack felt like minutes, but it was probably 30 seconds. Little to more than 2 weeks after the alleged incident, Jussie was arrested and charged with filing a false police report. It was eventually revealed that he paid 2 brothers $3,500 to stage the attack in an effort to raise his show business profile. The actor was found guilty by a jury of 5 of the 6 felony disorderly conduct counts that he faced, 1 for each time he was was accused of lying to police. As a result, he was sentenced to 30 months probation and 150 days in jail. Although this event has greatly impacted his credibility and reputation in Hollywood, he has recently stepped back into directing and seems to be trying to get back into the industry. And coming in at number 1, Shia LaBeouf. The 37-year-old actor is known for his bad behavior and questionable choices, which gave him a reputation for being one of the most obnoxious celebrities that Hollywood has ever produced. When he tried his hand at directing, he made a short film called Howard Cantor, which was shown at Cannes in May of 2012. It received significant acclaim and praise from critics everywhere, but no one realized that the script was stolen. It turns out that Shia copied word for word from a book by Daniel Clowes and did not even give him credit. To make matters worse, when he was confronted about it, he apologized and then later revealed to have plagiarized all of his apologies from other people. Add this disaster to the allegations against him made by FKA Twigs in 2021, and you can see why he's really problematic. The singer filed a bombshell lawsuit alleging that he was physically and verbally violent towards her during their relationship. She also made the claim that he would attack stray dogs in order to get into character for his film The Tax Collector. She even described a time when they were both in the car speeding towards LA and Shia was driving recklessly. He allegedly removed his seatbelt, threatening to crash the car unless she professed her love for him. So there's really no reason that he should be getting hired for any more projects, and it's unsurprising that he is not invited to next year's Met Gala. Number 10, Will Smith. It would come as no surprise if the actor was to be banned from next year's Met Gala, considering his contentious history at last year's Oscars, where he walked up to Chris Rock and slapped him on the face all because he made a joke about his wife Jada Pinkett Smith. The consequences of this moment are still occurring today. Will has apologized for his actions several times, however he was called out again, this time by Chris Rock during his Netflix special Selective Outrage. For his part, Chris finally unleashed his opinion on the incident, and he clearly does not accept Will's apology, nor does he think that he had any valid reason to walk up on stage and slap him across the face. Although the incident happened a full year ago now, it doesn't seem to be something that people have easily forgotten, and it's been very difficult for Will to make his way back into Hollywood. We all know that he was banned from the Oscars for the next 10 years, and even if he was able to be nominated for an award, he would not be able to go in person to accept it. It's likely that a similar ban has already been placed when it comes to the Met Gala. Number 9, Kim Kardashian. For years, the Kardashians have been invited and are well known for not disappointing in the wardrobe department, but there's always been so many rumors going around about them getting uninvited. Just last year, one source who spoke to Page 6 claimed that none of them are going to be invited in 2023, despite the fact that all 5 of the sisters went together in 2022. The first time Kim attended was in 2013. She said she actually cried after the event because she didn't know anyone and she was sure that no one wanted her there. She'd been trying to score an invite for years, but the fashion world did not accept her. For some people, it can be very difficult to get in. Years later, she became the center of controversy when she decided to wear the famous Marilyn Monroe dress that was worn by Marilyn herself. The reason why people were so enraged by this was because it didn't actually fit her. The dress was tailored to specifically fit Marilyn at the time. So in order for Kim to fit in this dress perfectly, she went on a strict diet and forced herself into the gown. But of course, she did end up damaging the dress, simply because her proportions just didn't work. So most people don't ever want to see her attempt something like that ever again. Number 8, Lena Dunham. In a letter conversation with Amy Schumer, Lena Dunham indicated that she did not enjoy her time at the Met Gala. She said, "You and I were literally sitting across from each other at the Met Ball, and it was like a crazy countdown to when we could escape. You were like, we're honored to be here, we're honored to be here." So just like Amy Schumer, she did not seem to enjoy the event whatsoever and had no issue letting everyone know that she had a bad time when it was over, like a lot of other celebrities. But what really got people upset was her comments about New York Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. So she was seated next to him at the gala, which most people would be excited about, but Lena still wasn't satisfied. Apparently he didn't speak to her at all when they were seated next to each other, and she took that personally. She said, "I was sitting next to Odell Beckham Jr. and it was so amazing because it was like he looked at me and determined I was not the shape of a woman by his standards. It was like we were forced to be together and he was literally scrolling on Instagram rather than having to look at a woman in a bow tie." Number 7, Donald Trump. Before he was president of the United States, Trump was a fixture at the Met Gala. It was there that he proposed to his third and current wife Melania in 2004. He appears to have worn the same tuxedo to the event every single year, while Melania's outfits varied a lot. She was often seen in lavish gowns from designers like Dolce & Gabbana, Vera Wang, and Roberto Cavalli. The Trumps used to be regulars at the event, but all that eventually changed somewhere around 2016. 10 months after he was inaugurated as president, Anna Wintour appeared on The Late Show with James Corden, and it was then that he asked her one very interesting question. Fashion. He said, everyone from Beyonce to George Clooney attends, so my question is, who would you never invite back to the Met Gala? And I paused for a few seconds and then she said Donald Trump. She didn't give a specific reason for not banning him from the gala, but she doesn't really need one. And has hosted the event since 1999, so whatever she says goes. Although clearly has something to do with how New Yorkers felt about the new president after he moved to the White House. It turns out that she's kept her word over the years because Trump's last appearance at the gala was back in 2012. Number 6, Demi Lovato. The singer opened up about her experience at the Met Gala during an interview with Billboard in 2018, and she has not attended another one since. She said, I had a terrible experience. This one celebrity was a complete B and was miserable to be around. It was very cliquey. I remember being so uncomfortable that I wanted to drink. It was pretty obvious that she was talking about Nicki Minaj. The two of them bumped into each other on the red carpet and things got very awkward. Demi then posted a picture on Instagram of the moment and it was hilarious. In the picture you can see Nicki literally glaring at her like she didn't even try to hide the fact that she hated her. She captioned the photo saying, "This picture pretty much summed up my first and probably last Met. P.S. Some of y'all need to learn how to take a joke. I'm obviously laughing at the fact that number 1, I look incredibly awkward, and number 2, that the shade was being thrown in this picture actually gives me life." Demi went directly from the event to an AA meeting and she said, quote, "I changed my clothes, but I still had my diamonds on, millions of dollars of diamonds on in an AA meeting. And I related more to the homeless people in that meeting who struggled with the same struggles that I deal with than the people at the Met Gala. Fake and sucking the fashion industry is deep." Number 5, Tina Fey. The comedian has always been known for her honesty, so it's no wonder that she came clean with fans about her less than desirable experience at the Met. She spoke to David Letterman about her time attending the infamous event in 2010 with the theme of American woman, fashioning, and national identity. She said, "If you had a million arms and all the people you would punch in the whole world, they're all there. It is so unbelievable. Clearly, I'll never go again. But you go and it's this beautiful space and it's just every jerk from every walk of life is there wearing like some stupid thing. Even though that stupid thing is often considered high fashion, it can look a little ridiculous when you compare it to regular clothing." Tina went on to call the event a jerk parade, so it's really interesting to see that not every celebrity is impressed with the Met, even if it takes them years to just score an invitation, and it's something that they have been waiting for a very long time. Sometimes a real thing turns out to be a major letdown. Number 4, Lily Reinhardt. The actress thinks that she could be banned from next year's Met. During the Met in 2022, Lily spoke about the extreme diet that Kim Kardashian did in order to fit into her dress, which was once worn by Marilyn Monroe. While chatting with W Magazine, she said that attending the Met is always fun, but after going again, she doesn't think that she'll be invited back. Quote, "I said a certain something about a certain person in a certain dress. I have always wanted to stand for something. While I don't like it if one comment by me turns into 7 articles in People magazine, I never overthink what I post. It has to be a true representation of how I feel. And I would say that whether I had 100 followers or 100 million. At the time, Lily criticized Kim's extreme diet and said, "To openly admit to starving yourself for the sake of the Met Gala when you know very well that millions of young men and women are looking up to you and listening to your every word. The ignorance is otherworldly disgusting." Which is true. That's the reason that a lot of people took issue with what Kim Kardashian did at the Met. The controversy was not only about the fact that she lost weight to fit into the dress, it was also about the fact that she gave a lengthy interview about how she lost that weight. Number 3, Zayn Malik. There's a theory that the former One Direction star has been banned from the Met Gala by Anna Wintour after a 2018 GQ interview resurfaced where he throws huge shade at the event. He spoke about his 2016 appearance with Gigi and he said, "I did go, but I didn't go there to be like, yo, take me seriously. I was taking the piss. I went there as my favorite Mortal Kombat character, Jax." He went on to say that the Met Gala is not necessarily anything that he ever knew about or planned on going to. Zayn then doubled down on the fact that he would not normally think of attending. He said, "Now, it's not something I would go to. I'd rather be sitting at my house doing something productive than dressing up in really expensive clothes and being photographed on a red carpet. To do the self-indulgent, look at me, I'm amazing thing on the red carpet, it's just not me." So the way he was speaking about the event, you would think he was almost embarrassed to be seen there. So it's not entirely surprising that he only ever went that one time. Number 2, Jameela Jamil. In October last year, the actress called out the Met Gala for their 2023 theme, which celebrated the late Karl Lagerfeld. She wrote, "This man was indeed supremely talented, but used his platform in such a distinctly hateful way, mostly towards women, so repeatedly and up until the last years of his life, showing no remorse, offering no atonement, no apology, no help to groups he attacked. There is no explanation for his cruel outbursts." She went on to say that he stood against the Me Too movement, gay couples who wanted to adopt, and he was also fat-phobic. Jameela went on to list the ways in which she believed that Karl was problematic and unhelpful helpful to certain social movements. She said, "Why is this who we celebrate when there are so many amazing designers out there who aren't bigoted white men? What happened to everyone's principles and advocacy? You don't get to stand for justice in these areas and then attend the celebration of someone who revealed his own public disdain for marginalized people." However you characterize the German fashion designer, it is true that this year's event honored him. Apart from being a fashion legend, he was also known as someone who tells it like it is, even if that brought about a lot of controversy. Number 1, Gwyneth Paltrow. The actress has always been considered a fashion darling, but she also keeps it real about how unfun such a prestigious event really is. She made it clear that she did not enjoy her time at the Met in the past. She once went on an Australian radio show and spoke to Kyle and Jackie O about the event. She said, "It sucked. It seems like it's the best thing in the world and you always think, oh my god, it's going to be so glamorous and amazing and you're going to see all these people. And then you get there and it's hot and it's crowded and everyone's pushing you. This year it was really intense, it wasn't fun." So judging from all the celebrity interviews, it seems as though the Met Gala is not all it's cracked up to be. That same year, she also told USA Today that she did not have a good experience and would not consider returning to the event. Gwyneth straight up said, "I'm never going again. It was so unfun. It was boiling, it was too crowded, I did not enjoy it at all." With comments like that, you would think it would be a self-fulfilling prophecy. After all, why would the event organizers or Anna Wintour herself be inclined to invite her back if she essentially trashed the gala, especially because it is such a big deal in the fashion world when the event comes around every single year. Number 10, James Corden. Last October, the owner of a high-end New York City restaurant called Balthazar made a viral Instagram post blasting James for his horrible behavior towards staff. He called him the worst customer to his service since the restaurant opened 25 years ago. He claimed that James demanded 2 free rounds of drinks for him and his friends after he presented a hair that was supposedly found on his food. On another occasion, he apparently flipped out when an egg yolk omelet that his wife had ordered was found to have a little bit of egg white in it. When this came out about him, the late night host spoke to the London Times and tried to defend himself. He said, "I never screamed at anyone, I didn't shout, I didn't call anyone a name, or swear or use derogatory language. How is it remotely a thing? And now it's fact and that's that. When that person who posted the story wasn't even there, that's just so odd." In response, the restaurant manager once again called him out on Instagram and wrote, "Corden flip-flopped and told a massive lie again. The actor will say anything to save his bacon. In the scheme of things, my opinion means nothing, but after Friday's interview and a second look at his fraudulent confessional, I've given up on James Corden for good." Number 9, Kris Jenner. Last September, Kris went on The Late Show with James Corden, where she was strapped to a lie detector and she was interviewed about the infamous tape that was released in 2007 of Kim Kardashian and Ray J. So Kris denied the years-long speculation that she was involved in the tape's production, but once the results came back, it seemed as though she was telling the truth. In response to the interview, Ray J then appeared on Instagram Live with a full presentation to prove that actually she was lying. He showed screenshots of text messages that Kanye West had sent him asking for the original tapes because he wanted to give them back to Kim. In the messages, Kanye asks if there's a time that the two of them can talk or meet up to discuss the matter further. And in response, Ray J said, "I've got 2 kids and a tech company. Why would I involve myself in this? I'm so past this, bro. I'm assuming you know the full story from 05, right? How it happened, who brokered the deal, who put it all together?" This is when Ray J made the most shocking revelation ever. He said Kris Jenner is the one who made her shoot the second tape in Santa Barbara. He then claimed that Kris orchestrated the filming of the last tape and even watched them to decide which one was best. Number 8, Lea Michele. In 2018, the actress posted a sponsored video on Snapchat to promote a makeup remover. In the clip, she said, "I have obviously tried my fair share of makeup removers, but these are by far my favorite." She then pours a liquid onto a cotton round and pretends to remove waterproof eye makeup by wiping the pad across her eyes. While she proudly shows off the smudged cotton round, you can see that her eyeshadow and mascara remain perfectly intact. The ad was swiftly and mercilessly mocked on social media, and it made her seem a lot less credible in the beauty community. Fans pointed out that she didn't even rub her eye or touch her skin at all. Not only that, but it was a little suspicious that she had a Snapchat filter on when she was doing a promotional video involving makeup. It just made the whole thing seem so much less honest, as though she was intentionally trying to trick viewers. The reactions to the video ranged from unimpressed to straight up disappointment, and it even brought about a few parodies too. What's really crazy is that this wasn't even the first time that Lea was caught lying on social media. That same year, she was accused of taking a handful of photos from other blogs and trying to pass them off as her own travel pictures on Instagram. She even forgot to take out a computer cursor in the bottom left corner when she posted it. So yeah, it was pretty bad. Number 7, Terrence Howard. The actor is known for his captivating intensity on screen, and it certainly won him him over with fans when he starred as Lucius on Empire. But sometimes art imitates life, and Howard's domineering character was very much a reflection of the actor behind him. His violent tendencies were pretty well hidden from the public eye until about 2009, when the Smoking Gun reported that about 10 years prior, he was arrested for viciously beating up his estranged wife Lori McComas. Lori dialed 911 after Howard threatened her over the phone, saying that he was going to come over and hurt her. But it was all too late, because before the police arrived, he had already broken down the front door of the house and attacked her, punching her in the face multiple times. The actor was charged and pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct, but the incident wasn't a one-off. In the year 2000, he reportedly attacked a flight attendant for asking him to return to his seat because the seatbelt sign was on. And in 2005, he attacked a couple at a diner because they were seated before him. In the years following, he allegedly harmed multiple intimate partners in some of the worst ways possible. But it was a long time before any of those accidents actually got in the way of his career. Number 6. Lea Michele. The actress and singer was the face of the hit TV musical Glee, playing the character that we all love to hate, Rachel Berry. Her on-screen persona was harsh to say in the least, and she could be extremely cruel when it came to getting what she wanted. But her overly ambitious character was actually a portrayal of how Lea was in real life, although she did an excellent job of keeping that hidden. It was in June of 2020, after she tweeted her support for Black Lives Matter, that she started getting exposed for her true nature. Her former Glee co-star Samantha Ware called her out for hypocrisy, claiming that Lea made her time on set a living hell and threatened to defecate in her wig. Heather Morris also came out with her own allegations, quote, "Was she unpleasant to work with? Very much so. For Lea to treat others with the disrespect that she did for as long as she did, I believe that she should be called out." Actor Keith Powell tweeted, quote, "Lea Michele is a terrible human and has said terrible things to many types of people, including racist microaggressions." In light of all the accusations, the actress was then dropped from her partnership with the company HelloFresh, and she eventually deactivated her Twitter account. Number 5. Ellen DeGeneres. The stand-up comedian and veteran talk show host Ellen was nicknamed the Queen of Nice at one point, with many people loving her signature catchphrase, "Be kind to one another." They also liked her on-screen giveaways and her vocal support of LGBTQ+ rights. But behind the curtain, Ellen was a different person entirely, and that all got revealed in March of 2020 when podcaster Kevin T. Porter asked people to post stories about her mean-spirited behavior, which completely opened the floodgates. He was then slammed by past and present employees with accusations of enabling a toxic culture, and Ellen found herself engulfed in accusations of bullying behavior by not only staffers but past guests and even fellow celebrities, with some insisting that her mean nature is common knowledge among the Hollywood elite. Ellen addressed the infamous toxic workplace scandal that saw 3 of her most senior staffers axed from the show. One TV writer claimed that Ellen required anyone who talks to her at work to chew gum from a bowl outside her office first, and that she would often send staff home to shower if she thought that they would smell. Because of the overwhelming negative publicity that she received as a result of the scandal, the comic had to wrap up her hit talk show after 19 seasons on air. Number 4. Armie Hammer. Among the new stars who have recently graced the big screen of cinema, Armie really stood out. He had a wholesome image with an all-American crew cut, and he absolutely killed it in his role as the Winklevoss twins in The Social Network. But it was his part in Call Me By Your Name that really made him a global star. Nothing is ever as it seems though, and while he was very good at disguising his dark side, it eventually came out. In January, a series of text messages were leaked of him detailing his sickening fantasies. The actor was also accused of attacking multiple women, and he was named a suspect in an LAPD case. His former intimate partner eventually came forward, claiming that he viciously attacked her over a period of 4 hours. Not long after, his wife Elizabeth Chambers left him, and the facade of their perfect marriage fell apart. Eventually, she even called him a monster. The actor was then dropped out of 2 high-profile projects and is now residing in a resort in the Cayman Islands. Number 3. Jamie Lynn Spears. Someone that has lost all support from what little fan base she had to begin with is Jamie Lynn Spears. She's known pretty much as a younger sibling of Britney Spears, but she didn't exactly hide long in her sister's shadow before entering the limelight. Although she's made a few appearances in film and television as a child, she didn't receive star status until landing the lead role as Zoe Brooks on the Nickelodeon show Zoe 101. After 3 years on the show, the then 16-year-old announced that she was pregnant, effectively ending her role and putting her career on hiatus. But people disliked her because of the horrific way that she has treated her sister over the years. In fact, fans of Britney have heavily criticized Jamie Lynn for an apparent lack of support during her sister's 14-year-long conservatorship. In fact, the former actress has been accused of trying to steal Britney's fortune, fighting against the movement to free her from her conservatorship, and writing tell-all books to try and profit off of her sister's name while trying to make her look bad. With Britney finally now able to speak up for herself and even releasing her own memoir, memoir, it no doubt resulted in even more exposure of Jamie Lynn's horrific behavior. Number 2, Felicity Huffman. The actress was involved in the college admissions scandal along with her husband William H. Macy. Felicity made a so-called charitable contribution of $15,000 to participate in the college entrance exam, which was really a cheating scheme on behalf of her eldest daughter, Sophia Grace May. The Desperate Housewives actress and her husband then made arrangements to do the same for their younger daughter, but later decided against it. After she pleaded guilty to fraud charges, she was then sentenced to 14 days in prison, and then had to publicly apologize for her role in the scandal, admitting that she paid to improve her daughter's SAT scores. She said, "I want to apologize to the students who work very hard every day to get into college, and to their parents who make tremendous sacrifices to support their children and do so honestly." Felicity and Lori were among dozens of wealthy parents who were charged with participating in schemes to bribe coaches and university insiders or to cheat on entrance exams. The scandal, which drew in Hollywood stars, hedge fund millionaires, and athletic coaches, exemplified the advantages afforded to wealthy applicants and fueled debates about fairness and equity in admissions. And number 1, Isaiah Washington. The actor was among the original cast members of Grey's Anatomy, and he played Preston Burke. But in 2007, after the show's 3 successful seasons, it came out that he called his co-star Tia Knight a homophobic slur that starts with the letter F. And this happened during an argument on set with actor Patrick Dempsey. The fallout was so bad for Isaiah that ABC decided not to renew his contract after the incident. He issued an apology at the time and denied using the word at the 2007 Golden Globes. But he later admitted to it during an interview on Larry King Live, where he said that he used a number of obscenities that he wasn't proud of. He then tried to backpedal and claim that he did not mean to use the slur in a homophobic way. Instead, he used the word to describe someone who was being weak. But the incident greatly affected Tia Knight, who identified as gay. In fact, he had to reach out to his family for support after the altercation hit the headlines, because it really put a spotlight on his sexual orientation. In the end, Isaiah admitted that no one wanted to hire him after the scandal, and he recently revealed that he's retired from acting because he said the haters won.